Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm here today with Matt Hardin, owner of Cardinal Yacht Sales in Bellingham, Washington. We're standing in front of the Targa 46, the flagship model in the Targa line.
Yeah, it's cool. It's the biggest boat Targa builds, and you know, really has been a real popular boat with our clients.
I mean, look at this rub rail, big entry on this thing. We haven't ridden in one of these yet. We're looking forward to getting out today on this thing, but you just look at them, they just look rugged and tough, you know?
Yeah, and I think most of our clients are using them in just as a sport utility boat. Yeah. So it really is an adventure boat. The Targa 41 just is nominated for, I think they're in the adventure class in Europe, and that's really what Targa has kind of built their reputation on.
Typically you'd have just a little rub rail in there with a stainless insert or something, but look at that thing. And then you've also got a rub rail down here, and you can option this as well so it extends all the way up the side of the boat, right, Matt?
Yeah, you can. We just have a 46 that's coming in, I think in a couple months. It has a much more substantial D-rubber down low.
Yeah.
He ran it I think 3/4 of the way up the boat, and it'll be a pretty sweet, the boat looks really cool. And he just wanted to take that kind of tough exterior and the look to the next level, you know. And I think it's been fun because the boats actually perform that way.
Yeah.
You know, we're not dealing with something that's just built to look a certain way. It really is a functional boat in that manner. So.
Yeah. Large swim step on this thing, and these Presto dinghy lifts, these are amazing.
I've actually really, you know, we're always kind of looking at what product will work well for the client, and I think the Presto lift has been a product we like from a maintenance standpoint. All your hydraulic cylinders are above the water, out of the salt water. We kind of custom modified this a little with the sea deck.
I see that, yeah.
On the center part, because when you drop this in the water, we're just about you know, depending on where we stop, we're around a foot underwater, so it kind of acts as a cool swim step coming out.
For sure, yeah.
So we're definitely in the colder climate, but I'm jumping in.
Oh, summertime around here.
Yeah, every summer.
Beautiful. And you can get this option in different colors as well. I see a gray back here. We got a white hull. We've seen some tan ones. I mean, you got some color options there. I love this dark blue though. That's gorgeous.
Yeah, this is kind of your traditional black blue.
Yeah.
We've done a few boats in this, but Targa will build the boat. They're all semi-custom for our clients, and so really they're putting out, you want it, they'll build it.
Yeah.
You know, it's honestly some of the spec process is a lot of back and forth with our clients on customization, and you know, I'd say even this 46, for instance, is maybe one of the lesser customized boats we've seen.
Yeah.
But you know, it worked really well for the owner.
You look at the outside of this, it's almost got a commercial look to it, and then you step inside and it's luxurious throughout.
Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely gorgeous. Jump on here. You've got this great access gate. Get up on the aft deck here, fender cages. Yeah, man, set up great. And you can close this off once you get on board. Right,
yeah, and this we did a kind of a custom little.
I don't know if I'm doing that right. There you go.
We added these little custom security
there you go.
clips.
Yeah. Keep the dog and the kids in, but
yeah.
Great way to step on board here. And this aft deck is massive. So if you want to dive or fish, you can do it all in this.
Yep.
On this 46.
Yeah. And we've got different configurations for how far out the roof can come. We can do a full coverage, you know, most in our climate and, you know, for our demographic, you know, we're looking at fishing. Even on this boat, all our 46 clients are still fishing the boat a little bit, and so really they want to keep that, you know, roof usually in this configuration. But
get out of the weather a little bit. Got some lighting. Of course, you've got your aft steering station. I was looking in here earlier. This can either be a freezer or a reefer setup here, right?
Yeah, so we can run that as a fridge or a freezer. On this boat, he added dry storage on this second box.
Yeah.
Normally, we'd try to do both of those as fridge-freezer combos. We got the aft station for fishing.
Storage all over the place. Got these on both sides, so got a bunch of storage here. There's a table that goes in right here. You can see the supports right there that go right in there.
Teak table, that's stored under the engine hatches, and then we've got a couple deck chairs stored under the engine hatches as well.
Yeah, we'll jump in there a little bit. Those IPS drives are in there. IPS 650s on this?
Yeah, we pretty much spec all the 46s with the 650s.
Yeah.
You know, as we go down in the smaller boats, we'll go without drives quite often, but with this boat, you just want those bigger gear sets and as much power as you can.
That'll power this into the mid 30 knot range, right?
Yeah, real comfortably.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a quick boat.
Yeah. Burning one everywhere. Get your burning one table in here. We love that stuff. Stern steering station. Of course, you've got a joystick, so if you do have to dock port side, you can kind of keep an eye on the side of this yacht here while you're pulling in with that joystick. Bow thruster right there, controls everything right where you need it, and camera.
Yeah, so aft camera, really nice when you're running the boat by yourself, which is actually a fairly comfortable thing to do on this boat.
Yeah.
It just gives you a good, or especially, I think if you have a crew member, it's nice. You can really just see, make sure they've stepped on the boat and your lines, and et cetera. So
yeah.
It works well.
Let's cruise up the side.
Yeah.
I love the fact that these are full walk around too, you know. So look at this walkway. You feel safe on here, you know. You're not running up some little tow rail or something on the side of the boat. And another kind of a sun pad up forward here.
Yeah, we've got the canvas cover on it now, but real nice. You've got a skylight in the forward cabin, which is cool. Great place to hang out in the summer.
Anchor setup.
Easy access to anchoring. We can run the windlass from the bow, and then also we've got windlass controls at the helm also.
Yeah, look at that. And then if you look on the roof, on the hard top of this thing, you see got all your lighting up here.
Yeah.
You know.
No, and you know, we've gone with a lot. The lighting is great, man. You come into an anchorage at night or just in dusk, and that light bar and those two driving lights will really, I mean, usually I feel a little bad just if there's other people in the
torching all the other yachts in the anchorage,
But this, you know, most of our boats we're putting, especially the hardtop versions, I like because you can put the roof rack system up there.
Yeah.
The guys have set that up where we're using Thule or Yakima racks for the most part now, so all your componentry is pretty much, you can buy it at REI or
standardized.
Yeah. So it gives our clients a lot of different options there.
Let's cruise back onto the aft deck here and maybe pop those engine hatches, huh?
I like it. That's my background.
Let's pop this starboard hatch here, Matt, really quick. Check out these IPS drives and the systems in here. I love looking at all this stuff. So there's those big Volvo Penta IPS650s, 480 horsepower each. You can see you've got a spare set of props in there. And you got a water maker in there too?
Yeah, so over on the starboard side, we've got water maker. We've got the hydronic diesel-fired boiler for the heating system. Well, I think on this boat, we've got about 100 gallons of freshwater capacity, but with a water maker, if you're on a longer trip, it's just really nice to not have to worry about where you're getting good, you know, potable water. And that diesel hydronic heating system is just really nice when you're.
We've got that fired up. A little chilly in Bellingham today. We've had that heat on for a while. Let me pop this other big hatch here. These have big struts on them. Keep these hatches open, but let's pop this one real quick and just check out the magnitude of these engines here, these IPS drives. And we've got big lithium banks in there, I can see.
Yeah, so in this with lithium, we still went without a generator. We've got dual alternators on both engines, so our charge output really can keep up with that lithium bank fairly well. We're trying to size all that so that it's matched up to the boat use, and we're not, you know, and the charge rates will keep up with the amp hour capacity of the batteries pretty well.
Fuel tanks.
Yeah, so we've got two fuel tanks here tied together, and then as I talked about center gravity, the big forward tank is low down and up off the keel. So
capacity?
I think on this boat we've got about 500 gallons total.
Yeah, outstanding. Looking at some of the stats, we're going to go run this in a minute, Matt, but it looked like about maybe mile per gallon or something, or?
Yeah, these I would say loaded are right around 0.9.
Yeah.
You know, we like to maybe say 1, but I see in real world use, you're right around 0.9.
Table goes in here?
Yeah, table and 2 legs will pop into that.
Yeah, we've got deck chairs and that deal over there. Step in the cabin there, Matt, and check this out. This is where you really get the yacht feel inside these Targas.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got teak throughout, nice and warm in here. It's just a wonderful feel to it, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like with Targa, you go into you feel like outside you're in a little more tough fishing, you know.
For sure.
yacht, and then you step inside, and it's just a different world in a lot of ways.
Totally different feel
You
in
know?
here.
Yeah. And I mean, I will say you get in this teak interior on a, we like to be out in the sunshine as much as we can, but you get a cold, rainy day and you have that heat going, and you come in here and it's just a really nice
Great
place.
setup for year-round boating in the Northwest.
Yeah.
One of the things about the Targa is everything has its place, right? I mean, like, you've got your cutting board here. If you look in these drawers, they're all set up for different items. There's your cutlery in there. If you look over here, everything has its place in these drawers, so nothing slides around. Really well set up. Your plates are there. Got storage underneath here. This can also be optioned with a strut here, right? So you can make this into a day bed or a
completely different table arrangements available. I'd say most of our boats have had the drop-down table where you can turn this into a bed, which is a cool option.
Yeah, but this is nice. We've got storage in here for pots and pans and whatever. And everything's got a little lip on it, so nothing slides off the edge when you're out cruising. It's beautiful. We've got our TV right there. Sit on the hook and watch the game, or
everybody's got Starlink now. So
Starlink's nice.
I think about 99% of the boats, it's Starlink's your first install.
Outstanding.
You do.
Yeah, storage overhead. It's beautiful, man. Big seating area. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's
set up
really
great.
been a nice boat to hang out on.
Yeah, a fairly good sized fridge. I mean, for a boat of this size, you're not going to see a full-size fridge in here, So
always would be a dream, to have a full-size fridge. But with those two back deck boxes as fridge-freezer combos and this, we've usually been, it's a good setup. That's another small, I think that is just a refrigerator on this one, but it's a little extra storage.
We got our oven in here.
Yeah. Most of those now, we have the combo convection / microwave, so it's a nice... I think we've switched to the Viking on a lot of these big boats.
Oh,
so
wow.
we've got pretty much trying to have the best appliances possible.
Yeah.
Well, one of the cool things, I think, as you talk about this interior and the yacht feel, to me it still gives you it's just a feeling of like, we sit here and I find it, people love hanging out on this boat because you can see 360. And you don't think about it until you're on another boat that has a bigger helm forward for the co-pilot.
And you can't see over the helm.
Bigger chairs. And you realize that whole front is kind of like obsolete once you're at the dock. So when you're running and sitting up there, it's cool. But here we're running and we can see great. And you can interact with the whole crew. And so it's really been a boat that the more you use it, the more you're enjoying, I think, that just the ability of all the people on the boat to kind of interact. If you're sitting up on the sun pad, you're really still in a direct kind
you're
of...
still part of the conversation.
Yeah, so you really end up with these areas that are connected yet separate. You can be on the back deck with some friends, inside, and then up on the bow, and you're still kind of, though, in the flow of the entire boat.
All one level, big windows. You got 360 degrees of visibility out of here, whether you're running the boat or you're a passenger.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
No, and it really is nice. And if you sit here in the middle and you're in heavy, heavy weather, you can see good, so your eyes are kind of connecting with the horizon if possible, but you're down back in that spot on the boat where you have the least motion, and it really is something we've seen just, for a boat that's designed to get out and be used in a lot of different situations. It's really nice if, gives people a peaceful feeling, I think.
For sure. And of course, running boats my whole life, Matt, this is my favorite spot on these Targas.
Whoa.
And a lot of thought. I'm a little big for that air ride, but
it might have been set for my...
Yeah, but we can definitely pump that up a little bit. But this helm chair, this is a heated helm seat too, by the way. But this is what I love about these Targas. You can adjust this to just about any body type. Take this, slide this forward. I mean, this is really comfortable for big long runs.
Yeah.
And then when you get there, you can move this out of the way. You can kind of put this any place you want. You got your thruster here, your controls, your big MFDs up front here, joystick. Everything's right here, and you can just kind of cruise, man.
Oh yeah, and I will say it's interesting. I love the tilt wheel. I find, interestingly, to me at least, that when I'm running the boat, I really honestly don't use that as much as I thought I would.
Yeah.
I'm on autopilot a lot and just sitting back in that chair, kind of just with everything opened up a little more.
Yeah.
So it is really nice
this.
though when you get in certain conditions and you just want to be driving the boat, rather than just running on autopilot.
Then when you pull in, you can slide this back, open the side door, And if there's just two of you on the boat, you can slide right out and work the dock lines and
Yeah.
kind of manage what's going on the dock, you know.
Well, and one thing you notice here, I think, is we've removed a lot of the headrests or ordered the seats without.
Yeah.
Because when you're docking right here, and if you stand there with kind of 1 foot out, one in, you can run that joystick and have an almost 360-degree view around the boat, which is really nice, especially if you're solo or with just one crew member.
Yeah.
Or honestly, like you see where we're docked here, we've got a real tight marina, and you're just coming in with a couple feet on each side sometimes.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And you got your Volvo Penta gauges up here. You used to have a big gauge set up here that was kind of...
Yeah, we can order
cool.
the boats with the more analog look gauges. I think people...
It's a more modern look, though, and this is kind of the way it's going, right?
You know, I like the look of the analog gauge.
Yeah.
When you're running a boat, and you'll see in a minute when we run the boat, and you've seen this on other, using these new gauge panels. You've got your port and starboard engine needles, let's say, or gauge indicators, and you can just much more easily scan your gauges, see what your temperatures are, RPMs, etc.
Yeah.
Versus scrolling through a set of analog gauges. So these panels as well from Volvo Penta just give a lot more data. And so what we've seen for the client is just, even if you love the look of the analog, this is a more practical gauge setup.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Here's your spotlight right there.
So Rob, I just, if you can jump out of there for a sec,
yeah,
I gotta just, it's interesting. So I kind of commented, and I don't, from a marketing standpoint, we love this tiltability and all these features. It is really practical day to day. But the funny thing about using a Targa is when you're running this boat, if I'm sitting in the seat, I hate to do this, but I'm kind of kicked back on autopilot and enjoying just running the boat. And I'll, sit up, adjust my autopilot a little bit. Sometimes I use the remote, which we've got up here in the stored away. But you're just kicked back. The boat's smooth, you've got great visibility, and you're relaxing. As soon as we're starting to drive, in this particular, all the Targas really, I'm standing up. It's just the way it kind of works. You usually want better visibility, so you want to sit up, be engaged, and you're running through a big patch of driftwood or something. Or you're coming up on crab pots to and working with your crew to pick pots or anything. And so that's what I love about the Targa. You can stand up. We all love the big, and this seat is amazing. Like, that's why I kick back in it. You're in that boat where when you're running, you're just 28 knots, autopilot, making course corrections, and relaxing a little bit. As soon as you get up and start driving, it's just great to stand up. You've got good visibility. You're able to look around, see what's happening.
Yeah.
And just a really, really functional.
Just love the helm stations on these things, man. So many options,
Okay, here we are. We've got the forward stateroom. Historically, Targa's kind of looked at the aft cabin as their master stateroom, but in this boat, we added the full head here, which is a little bigger, and it has the walk-in shower. So you've got hard shower doors, heated towel rack off the hydronic heating system, and it just puts both fore and aft cabins kind of on an equal playing field.
Wardrobe here. Right there. Lots of storage for your stuff in here. More storage underneath the bunk there, and that nice warm teak feel too in here, right?
Yeah, and then we've got the sun pad covering the skylight, but there's an actual, built into the sun pad is so you can flip that open and actually have more light in here. So we've got all the canvas covers on today.
Gorgeous.
Just because of the weather. Well, so here, I guess cool thing here, we've got a little quarter berth, pipe berth. We have, by chance on this one, we put the pot puller. I stuck the teak table there the other day, and we've got some of the boat cushions stored down here. But real nice place, honestly, for somebody to sleep. I've slept there and fairly comfortable. Nice spot, and it's outside the door to this aft stateroom, so you can actually have somebody else and still have some privacy in here, which is cool. This one's set up, customization again, as two twins. Most of these we'd have as a single queen bed. The twin is a nice setup, though, if you've got kids, and they've got a little storage compartment here in the middle, so you can kind of stash your books, let's say, not your iPad. Charging, USB stuff, charging, storage. We've got some more big lockers on this side, all with their lights kind of, and hanging storage on this side.
And you've got your head right here, full head, huh?
Yeah, and then this has the full head with the walk-in shower, which is typical and standard on all the 46s. The forward head you can downsize just a little bit and get another little quarter berth in that space. So, well, one nice thing I like about the Targa is all our controls. You know, once we turn the battery switches on in the aft part of the main house here, all our switches to activate all our 12-volt controls for navigation, etc., are right on our helm panel. You know, and a lot of traditional boats I've seen where we've got a remote panel with 12-volt switches, 110 switches, and we've got to kind of jump down, activate those, and then get to the helm to do it. And everything's real nice and at hand on these. And these common rail engines burn cleanly. You can kind of see a lot of that's just steam, not smoke coming out of the exhaust. On these cold days, you'll get a reasonable amount of steam kind of.
God, it's gorgeous out here. We always want for wind on these days, but it's all right. We'll take this too.
Well, my wife will laugh at this, but if we brought her along, it would have got real windy.
Oh yeah, for
She
sure.
says every time I'm out, it's blowing, and then you go on these trips.
Or
and it's
if we were
dead
going
calm.
fishing today, it'd be blowing 40 knots.
Exactly.
Well, let's get up on step, man, and see how this thing jumps up, see what the bow rise is, and get some economy numbers and all that stuff. Twin IPS650, 480 horsepower, Volvo Pentas. Yeah.
So I've got
this
trim
thing can do.
assist off right now.
Okay.
And we'll just run it up and.
Yeah. There we go. How much does this boat weigh, Matt?
You know, loaded, tank down, I'm sure we're starting to near 30,000 pounds.
Wow.
I think they say 24, 25.
She jumped
So that's
right
pretty
up on
much
step.
full pin. You know, we're just over 3,500 RPM.
Yeah.
I've got no trim tabs on right now. We've got about 75% fuel, so let's average that to 70 maybe. So decent fuel, probably light on water because we winterized the boat, I think, already. But the nice thing is we've got real limited bow rise. You know, you can see all the way through the RPM range. We're at 3550, which is about
Cruising
right.
at 34, 35 knots.
And then I'm just going to back it down to what I'd probably cruise at normally.
Yeah.
I always tell people, you know, every boat's a little different. This boat almost always seems to settle in super sweet at about 3,050 RPM.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. I usually am autopilot and just kind of relaxing.
What's our fuel economy right now?
So that's 3,000, 27, 28 knots. And let's see here. If we go to fuel, we're at 0.8 nautical miles per gallon right now. So I've seen 1 nautical mile per gallon, but that's a light boat, fresh out of the factory, right after we launched the boat. You know, and as you get towards 50% fuel, you'll definitely see the 0.9 consistently. But you've got to be down to probably 30% fuel, and you know, to hit the 1 nautical mile per gallon, or slow down a lot, maybe. Like there, we're at 20. Well, we didn't slow down a lot. I apologize.
Yeah, we're still at 26 knots.
Yeah, 26 knots at 0.9. So
yeah,
most of our clients are really running these boats 24 to 29, 28 knots.
Yeah.
You know, almost everybody's like, well, if we drop below 25 knots, 24 knots, we're starting to, you know, let's see real quick.
You coming off step at that point?
I mean, I ran this the other day and we were, see, there's 1.1, but let's let it average out again.
23 knots.
I just took the trim tabs back
23
off.
knots.
Maybe.
So we're still at 0.9. So yeah, 0.8, 0.9.
Yeah. That's where most people don't stress about going too much slower. Once you hit over 29 to 30 knots, we see that fuel burn actually go up.
Yeah.
So we're starting to lose economy. But So if we have
Yeah.
this calibrated properly, we probably could increase that, that little bit.
Yeah.
So, but marketing wise, I always think like, hey, if we tell people 0.8, 0.9, and then once they're getting 0.9 to 1, we're doing better. And then, you want to get up to speed again. We'll
There we go. So this would be more of a cruise speed right here, 27, 28 knots.
Yeah, and if we go back
45 minutes to Friday Harbor out of Bellingham.
And that's 3180. I mean, honestly, right around 3,050 is kind of where I like to run it. And then if you...
Yeah.
Crank a turn, Now, most of these big boats, we have the trim assist set up, so it'll keep the boat from carving such a steep turn. Kind of fun to do on a sea trial.
Yeah.
But day to day, this is not where you want to be. All your beers are spilled, and you know.
You don't want to do that.
But yeah, you gotta hold on.
Yeah, beautiful, man. What we try to do on these things is just show everybody, the features on the boat or the yacht, and then run through some numbers. Fuel economy, top speed, bow rise, so people have an idea of what the capabilities are of said boat. This happens to be a 46-foot Targa, but that's what we kind of try to do here, and that's what we're doing today.
Well, and I think a cool thing, people should always be looking at in boats is like, where does that bow rise? We see a lot of, let's say this. I've run a number of boats over the years where you get in heavy weather and you've got to slow down, to 10 or 12 knots, and that bow comes up high enough that you're working hard just to see over it,
That bow didn't come up at all right there.
So I like our Targa product because you can run at 15 knots, My kids make fun of me because I said long ago on a video, I like to make a sandwich while running, and they find that humorous, but you could be in kind of gnarlier weather running down at 15 knots and not stressing about your
plenty of visibility there.
So well, we appreciate your guys' time, and always fun to show you the boats, and good day to be out on the water. Thanks for all the film work.
Nothing lived about this week. As always, drop your comments and questions down below. We'll do our best to get to them. We'll catch you next time.